Hi everyone, I'm going to talk to you today about coal. Coal is a sedimentary deposit that forms in seams under the ground. It is composed of old living plants and organic matter that gets compressed over millions of years. I've heard that it's related to wetlands of the past, and so it's essentially an ancient wetland, which is what gives it its high carbon content. This high carbon content is what is responsible for all of the value behind coal. It's responsible for the amount of energy that is yielded when coal is burned, which is for its usefulness, and also is responsible for some of the externalities that I'll discuss later in the video. Coal can contain anywhere from 25 to 97% of carbon, and this determines that specific type of coal's usage in industrial and power production purposes. The most common coal used for power production, which is what I'll focus on, is bituminous coal. And this coal contains from 60 to 80% carbon content, meaning that's what the mineral is made out of, 60-80% carbon. Now, the price of bituminous coal is not static over the years. It has had a peak in what appears to be the 1980s, and currently sells for just over $50 per short ton, or per 2,000 pounds. Now keep that in mind with the carbon content, and you'll see that you have about 1,200 pounds of carbon released per about $50 of material, and you'll see why some of the external costs come into picture. Coal is a non-renewable substance for our human lifetimes because it takes millennia to form, and now there are hundreds of billions of these short tons of coal available in the US, and a good amount of the ones that are harvested are near the surface. These are harvested, these are what you know in West Virginia as mountaintop removal. This is when they will just take the top off the seam so they can just extract it very easily without having to construct underground mines. This type of practice has both positive and negative effects. The positive is that underground mines produce much more methane, and they're responsible for releasing that methane, which is a faster climate-changing element than carbon dioxide is. A negative is that it destroys the mountaintop ecosystem, which is very harmful to these not estuaries. It's harmful to the aquifers of these regions, and these are external costs not necessarily assumed by the coal industry, but by the communities that are affected by them. The majority of coal is used in electric production, which is used for coal-powered power plants. In the US, however, this demand has dropped. Coal used to account for 50% of the power plants in 2007. Now that figure is 33%. That's a big drop for under 10 years. And regulations such as emission monitoring and carbon capping are bringing more and more coal plants closer to retiring, and these coal plants are frequently being replaced by competitor fuels like natural gas, wind, and solar. Another use of coal is in a byproduct which is called coke, which is used in steel production. And there are also alternative uses of coal rather than just simple burning for a coal-powered power plant. Coal can be processed so that a liquid gas is extracted and the carbon is converted, and these types of technologies have actually proven to create a gas substance that is actually more carbon efficient than petroleum products even. That is most of the demand that I can summarize. There are some externalities that come from the demand power production. This is mostly in the form of air pollution in high amounts of carbon dioxide. Remember the carbon content that I told you? That unless the carbon capture technologies which are being developed and funded today are used, there's a lot of carbon that goes into the atmosphere. Additionally, because these coal reserves are formed of wetlands, which are nature's natural filters, they have higher amounts of sulfur and nitrogen and other heavy metals. And so sulfur dioxide and forms of nitrous oxide are released into the atmosphere, which cause acid rain, which is another unaccounted for externality that the coal industry does not account for itself. Coal used in this traditional sense of power production is on the decline in the US and also in China. Since 2013, it has reduced their amount of coal use. Some coal companies are finding themselves going bankrupt and in debt, and their stock values are dropping. Their public image is decreasing as more and more people find out the negative effects of coal. People are linking the effects of coal to asthma and premature deaths even. In 2008 even, the amount of damages caused just from climate change contributions alone was $400 billion per year. The way I see it, this traditional form of using coal for power production, just straight up burning without any sort of carbon capture or any special technology that's available today, is on the decline. Maybe alternative technologies like liquid to gas extraction may be on the rise. And I see that this is a good thing for the environment and the economy because of all the external costs. I think that for the sake of the climate, public health and safety, and just global stability overall, the decline of coal is a good thing. Policies such as monitoring emissions and carbon accountability are a great thing towards pushing this. I think mention that. I think that coal has an uncertain future with all the alternative options available.